I promise, this won't be cringy bad political garbage nonsense of some random guy on the internet. This is just a rant that I have. I promise to keep this informative, entertaining, and fair. Okay? You ready? Good. College debt. Oh, yeah. Here we go, baby. Let's talk college debt. What an exciting topic for YouTube. Woo! College debt has been in the news. Everyone was asking, who's gonna pay? Is it fair? How much is it gonna cost? Who should receive it? But these are all the wrong questions. The right question is, how did it get so expensive in the first place? To answer this question, we're gonna look at some graphs. I know that you didn't pull up YouTube on your lunch break to look at graphs, but bear with me. I think it sets up the premise really, really well. I'll keep it quick. This graph illustrates tuition costs increasing as opposed and compared to overall inflation in the US. As you can see, tuition has gone up a literal ton. So what's causing this 1,200% increase? Well, maybe faculty are making more. And good news, they are. Kind of. Faculty salaries have gone up, but not proportional to the tuition increases. Faculty aren't the root cause of this increase. Maybe taxes and infrastructure have gone up. And for some institutions, maybe. But for many institutions, it's just not the case. Like the University of Minnesota, my wonderful alma mater. The University of Minnesota is exempt from federal income tax, and because they've owned the land they were on so long, they don't pay property taxes either. And so it's really expensive. But at least college grads are making more money, right? No, you don't. College graduate salaries aren't increasing nearly proportionally with tuition costs, and graduates aren't making more money. Now enough graphs. Data is fun, but you know what's better than data? Anecdotal proof. You want some anecdotal evidence of all this? I got you. It turns out that the reason I felt compelled to make this video is because I'm still salty about my experience. And the only thing I could do about it is make this YouTube video, so here I am. So are you ready to hear my anecdotal lament? Good. Let's get started with the dorms. Little Josh, all excited with big eyes about the world, moves into Pioneer Hall, constructed in the early 1900s. And the year after I moved out, they tore it down and completely renovated because it wasn't up to code. So I move into a building that is not up to safety code, and I am put into a 500 square foot room with 3 other roommates. 4 of us slept in 2 bunks. I was also lucky enough to receive a meal plan. Little old Josh essentially signed a 9-month lease to a building that is not up to safety code with 10 meals a week at a all-you-can-eat garbage buffet. And this wound up costing me somewhere around $1,000 a month. For $1,000 a month, I got to live in a 500 square foot room with 3 other people, eat 2 meals a day, 5 days out of the week at a bad restaurant, and over Christmas break, they kicked me out. I would have had to pay more to stay at my lease, even though I'm already paying for it. So, freshman year is over, and I move out to an apartment building, which my mother described as the Ritz. It was fancy looking, it was modern, it had a nice kitchen, it had like a workout room. It was a great apartment, at least to me, and I moved in with 2 roommates to a 750 square foot room. I get more space. I'm in a building that is up to safety code, and not just up to safety code, it's nice. It's a nice building. And to live in this place, I paid $500 a month in rent, and I wasn't spending anywhere near $500 a month on food. Anywhere near it. Basically, I saved a ton of money by going to a for-profit institution, and I got way more than the U of M, who was literally just stealing from me. You know what else is dumb? Textbooks. I didn't buy them. $80 for a textbook that you only use occasionally is a ripoff. But since schools are making money off of textbooks, they just force you to buy them because they want their textbook deals. So they're robbing students with the dorm rooms and the on-campus living. And they're robbing them blind with textbooks and course pack fees. Might as well put the nail in the coffin and force them into a liberal arts degree with a 120 credit minimum to graduate. Deep breaths. I'm getting all hyped up. Before college, I did PSEO and AP, and I managed to shave a year off of my school. However, I nearly didn't graduate because by the time I was done with my major required classes and all of my liberal arts requirements, I was at 118 credits. The U of M had a rule saying you need 120 credits to graduate with a degree. So I had to take gym classes. Apparently, to get a business degree in marketing, you need to take handball. 120 credits and these liberal art requirements are literally just a way to force students into 4 years in what they could accomplish in 2. So it doubles the money. The U of M and presumably all other colleges have no interest in saving me any money. They don't care about students. It's obvious. And then, when you graduate, they have the audacity to ask you to donate. No! You're going to beg me for more money? I just paid. You don't go to Subway and order a sandwich, and after you're done eating, the person comes up to your table and is like,
"Hey, it was a pretty good sandwich, right? You know, I'd love it if you gave me another $5 for it, just because of how good of a sandwich it was."
I paid the price of admission. I don't think there's any other industry that asks you to donate after you pay for the service. You can feel my passion, just, So why? Why are they doing this? Well, it turns out the answer is pretty simple. It's us. As always, we are the problem. In the past, college was a way to get a degree in a specialized field to set yourself ahead of the competition to get higher ranking positions. This has since transitioned into becoming almost a minimum for getting well-paying salaried work in almost any position. If you're competing for a position, somebody with a degree is also competing with it, and not having that degree puts you behind. This essentially turned college into the default route out of high school for most students. So now you have an entire boatload of willing 18-year-olds without a single drop of financial understanding begging to come to your university. So now colleges are fighting for all these hungry to learn and hungry to drink students, so that way their institution can get that sweet, sweet loan, baby. Mwah. How do you convince an 18-year-old to go to your school as opposed to the school down the block? Well, it turns out 18-year-olds don't care about education quality. Like a little bit. It turns out that students want to go on a tour and walk onto campus and go, whoa. This campus is immaculate. Literally, I'm gonna have an orgasm. It's perfect. Everything is so pretty and clean, and look at all the facilities. Look at all the study nooks. Look at the perfect landscaping. Look at that fountain. It's immaculate. They mow the grass in a checker pattern. This belongs to an English monarch, not to an undergrad student studying econ. The blossoms are in full bloom. This is gorgeous. And you know what? It costs money to do this. College kids want to show up and they want to be like, ooh, this'll be fun. And you know what? I can't blame them. If you're told that going to college is the right thing to do, and you have a couple of options, one that is going to educate you, and one that is going to educate you and be a good time, and you're taking out debt either way, most of us are gonna choose the one that's a good time. Having a sports team, kids wanna go to games. Doesn't matter if it loses the university a crap ton of money. Beautiful landscape parks. They wanna throw up their hammock somewhere while they cram for their psychology quiz. Food options that will gain you 20 pounds and leave you understanding the ramifications of not having self-control. Sign me up, baby. Colleges are competing for kids because they know that we will choose the prettier option, especially if we don't understand the ramifications of our debt. When I was 18, I was like, yeah, I'm going to college. Everyone else is going to college. Ink the dotted line, boom. I'm going to college now. I was never sat down by anyone who said, look, kid, you are gonna be paying this money back forever. Are you positive you wanna go do this? Are you positive? So, not wanting to be an idiot, I basically signed up for college because everyone else was, and I thought it was the right choice. And I just went ahead and went into business because I figured that's a degree that won't be useless. And schools are gonna keep going and keep spending because they have to, because we keep choosing those options. I did, and once you're there, they will wring you out of every single dollar they can, and then ask you for more later. Whew, okay. So how do we fix this? It's a tough question, and I am most definitely not an expert, but I'm gonna talk anyways. In my non-expert opinion, there are 4 things that we should be doing immediately. Number 1, tell the kids what's up. It should be a requirement to sit high school seniors down and run them through what the real life ramifications are going to be for the decision they are about to make. They're told, yeah, where do you want to go? Rather than, why do you want to go? Or, should you go? Nobody should be signing up for potentially life-crippling debt without the understanding that it might be life-crippling debt. Number 2, offer alternatives to college coming out of high school. Companies and jobs should have internship-like opportunities for people coming out of high school and get an opportunity to see what working is like. A lot of people go to college to figure out what they want to do. And straight up, spending potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars to figure out what you want to do is a giant gamble that shouldn't be happening. The government could subsidize this by offering tax write-offs for this. If the government offered grants or tax write-offs for companies to take on high school workers into internship and learning opportunities, whether they be over the summer, whether they be a month, whether they be 3 months, whether they be a year. If more high schoolers were taking gap years and getting real world experience, they might not go to college afterwards. Or maybe if they do, they have a direct aim. They know that they want to get this degree to get a job like they got experience in. 3, destroy the liberal arts requirement. It's bull. The mandatory liberal arts degree is literally just a mandatory minimum order under the guise of a well-rounded education. In lots of other countries, there is no liberal arts requirement. It's an option. And so if you know that you are going into the sciences, or you know that you want a business degree, you can just jump straight into those classes and get college done in 2 years as opposed to 4. This would cut individual debts down by half. In conjunction with some sort of program that gives high schoolers internship-like opportunities, they could see what field they want to be in, experience it, and then go to only 2 years as opposed to 4 years of college to get a degree in that field. And the liberal arts requirement is already stupid because since it's forced, everyone's just gonna take the path of least resistance. All you see in the forums is, what's the easiest class to fulfill my language requirement? They don't want it, but it's forced on them, and they're paying for it. And the only person benefiting is the colleges. And lastly, and most controversially, put a cap on tuition by district or region. Now again, I'm gonna stress that I am not an expert, but this proposal is based very much so on Andrew Yang's proposal when he was running for president. Love him or hate him, I think this proposal was so important. If they can only charge so much, superfluous items are going to start getting cut. This would basically force colleges to act like the businesses that they are. Andrew Yang's proposal specifically was to cut government funding to schools that weren't abiding by these requirements. Frankly, it felt like an awesome proposal. Basically, in my opinion, the solution is in understanding what's going on. Students should really, truly understand what they're signing up for. College was an option, and I was told that it'd be expensive, but I was never told alternatives. I was never told what the consequences could be. I was just told that I should do it. And so I did. Any debt forgiveness would just end up being a political band-aid. Ironically, the solution to the education crisis is in educating the populace on the pitfalls and shortcomings of our education system's financial structure. The cost of education isn't about education anymore, it's about marketing. And it ends up becoming a genuine problem for most students. Now, I know I went borderline political all over YouTube here for a second, but I just think that it's important. I don't view myself as an expert. And so most of my videos are not going to be trying to inform or give takes on some of these things, but God, it feels good to rant about this. So thank you for sitting in on this. If you're pissed that I made a video like this, simply comment in the comments below, stay in your lane, Josh. And I plan on staying in my lane. This is not a common type of video on this channel, but I had some things to say, and this is my platform to say them. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. I promise you we won't venture into policy very often. And hopefully this video showed you my thoughts and was entertaining. And if you have crippling debt, maybe consider subscribing and watching my videos to help with my crippling college debt. Although I'm probably gonna lose subs on this video because the second you veer into policy at all, the second you veer into any sort of policy and politics, people say they're out. And that's fair. I would like it if I saw your thoughts in the comments to guide future videos and just to see what your thoughts are on this topic as a whole. I'm very open to conversation about it. Be nice. Be nice. That's my only rule. Be nice. That's it for this video. I'll see you later when I do something presumably dumb or complain about something else. Goodbye.